Love. And today we are going to be previewing Pacers Thunder Game 3. Tonight, series tie 1-1 as the series shifts back to Indy for games 3 and 4. Is it a must win for the Pacers? We'll get into that. I have thoughts. We'll obviously talk about from the Thunder's point of view going on the road as well. We'll also talk about TJ Watt and Shamar Stewart's holdouts. Both are kind of different in terms of the situation. Shamar Stewart's holdout is we'll just get into it, and then we'll also get into college basketball. There's a new rule. No, it's not quarters. They're not going to quarters yet, but they are changing the rule to where you can have a coach can challenge a call. We'll get into all the specifics and details of that. But let's start with Thunder Pacers Game 3 tonight, ABC, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Gainbridge. The the pace OKC favored by 5.5. The Thunder on the road against the Pacers. This is a swing game right here. This is a swing game. Both teams need it. To me, I think the Pacers need it more, and here's why. If the Pacers can find a way, because they did what they needed to do in terms of stealing the home court in game one, they did what they needed to do. If they can find a way to go up 2-1 against the Thunder, game four, there is big time pressure on the Thunder. Big time pressure. Because if you're the Thunder and you're down 2-1 in the NBA Finals here, and it's a big game four on the road, look, I'm not saying, we saw you go into Denver and win that game four. That was the game, and to me, that was the series where I felt like they grew up a little bit. They grew up a little bit. But I'm looking at this Pacers team. So I'm like, the Pacers team, I'm going to be honest. I think they're better than the teams that they played, that the Thunder have played. So, and in that arena, look, everybody's going to be going crazy. And I'm not saying they can't win there, but the best case scenario, I feel like, for OKC is a split. Obviously, for the Pacers, if they go back to OKC 3-1 with all the momentum, that would be so. I don't think they're gonna beat them 3 times in a row. Like, that's just, to me, I don't think they're gonna beat them 3 times in a row. I think it's gonna be a split personally. I think it's gonna be a game 3 win by the Pacers, and then probably a game 4 win by OKC, or vice versa, and then we go back for game 5 here, a 2-2. But to me, the pressure, you can't let the Thunder steal that game 3 and get the home court back. So now the pressure's on you just to even get it back even, and it almost erases the work you did in game 1. You need, if you're the Pacers, you really need to get this game 3, and put some pressure on OKC. Have them feel the pressure, knowing that, look, if they go down 3-1, this is going to be a tough task. If you're the Thunder here, you really, I feel like the Thunder could come back from being down 2-1. I don't know if the Pacers can. I don't know. But the Thunder, you need to win this game tonight as well, because I feel like you need to put some pressure on the Pacers in terms of just for them to get it back even. Because if they win both games, if OKC wins both games in Indy, it's a wrap. Wrap. We're done. Wrap. But I do feel like Indy could get both games, but I feel like they'll split, because I think OKC, they're just that good. They're not. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong here as a Pacers fan. But yeah, I think obviously the keys for tonight's game, I think the offensive rebounding is going to be huge. Halliburton, he's going to have to be aggressive from the jump. Obviously the pace, because Indiana likes to play fast no matter where they are, but at home it's just when they get to running and going and hitting threes at home, that is a tough man. They're really tough to beat when they start doing that. They're obviously gonna need that going. If you're OKC, I don't want to say I don't slow the pace down a little bit. Obviously, look for if you can keep the Pacers under 110, you win. But pretty much, but here I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think the Pacers, obviously, their antennas are up. They've responded every time they've lost in these playoffs. They have really responded. OKC did a great job responding in game 2. So yeah, I feel like the Pacers still have the advantage because again, they did what they needed to do. Like if you had told a lot of people, look, this is going to be going 1-1 going back to Indy, every Pacers fan on the planet would have took that. Now OKC, you would have been like, you're taking, and for the fact that 90 of the 96 minutes, the Pacers have been outplayed. If you're the Thunder, you're thinking to yourself, okay, we let one get away. That we, but we can get up on them so easy that if we can just sustain it, we'll beat them. But if you're the Pacers, you're like, hey, we didn't play our best ball in the first 2 games, and we're 1-1. We're good. We got to play great. We're good. So I feel like both teams have a battle cry in terms of tonight. This obviously these game threes shift the series big time in the NBA finals. Big time. Look, if the Pacers win this game, this gets very, very, very interesting. Because in game 4, it's like, oh, OKC, don't lose that. Because now your championship hopes, they look bleak. I mean, it would just be tough to win 3 games in a row. It just would be. So, but tonight, it's the big one. Obviously, we talked about the pace of the game, the offensive rebound. A guy that's going to have to be big. We talked about Halliburton. We know he needs to be big. Obviously, Shea needs to be big. To me, the key in the game is Siakam and Holmgren. If Siakam plays well, like he did in the conference finals with Halliburton, I believe the Pacers win. Holmgren cannot have a no-show. He just can't have it. The reason the Thunder won, obviously, we talked about Caruso and Wiggins. They were big, but Holmgren really showed up. He helped set a tone early. To me, to me, and also that's what the Pacers have to do tonight. They have to set a tone early. Halliburton, they just have to come out and set a tone. For them, setting the tone is massive. It's huge. Because when you set the tone for a big game like this, obviously that game probably is going to go in your favor. Probably. So, again, just Halliburton's going to need to be aggressive. So is Shea. J Dub's going to have to be more efficient. They're probably going to have to be better in the fast break. Oklahoma City. So this game 3 has all the makings of a big time game 3. It will sure to be interesting. We will be there. We will be watching. We will be there. All right. let's go now to this coaches challenge thing. Coaches challenge approved for men's college basketball. The NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel on Tuesday approved several measures designed to help improve the flow of men's basketball games, with the addition of college of coaches challenges the biggest change. Coaches can now challenge at any point in the game out of bounds calls, basket interference slash goaltending, whether a secondary defender was in a restricted area arc. Shockingly, that's it. Borrowing the NBA's challenge rules, teams must have a timeout to request a review. If the challenge is successful, teams will get one additional replay challenge for the rest of the game. If the initial challenge is unsuccessful, the team will not be able to challenge the rest of the game. While officials can still initiate video reviews on goaltending and restricted arc plays in the final 2 minutes of games, out of bounds reviews can now be initiated by only a coach's challenge. Officials will also continue to use instant replay for timing and scoring issues and flagrant fouls. There is also positive momentum for moving from halves to quarters. The NCAA said Tuesday the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee has recommended NCAA Division I conferences create a joint working group to explore the potential change while acknowledging there are obstacles to overcome before implementing it. The NCAA panel also approved a change to the flagrant foul rule. On plays when a player makes contact to an opponent's groin, officials now have the option to call a flagrant foul. Previously, officials could only call a common foul or flagrant foul too, which results in the offending player's ejection. Perhaps the biggest example came last February when Texas Tech star JT Toppin was ejected after his leg made seemingly inadvertent contact with Houston's Joseph Tugler's groin while jumping to make a cross-court pass. Tech coach Grant McCaslin was also ejected, and Texas Tech athletic director Kirby called the decision egregious. So yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of that, my thoughts on it, I like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind. I think the coaches challenge is good. My only problem with the rule is if you win a challenge, you should continue to get challenges. Like you should not run out of challenges. That's my only real problem with the thing with that challenge, and I have a problem with that in terms of the NBA. So yeah, that's kind of my big thing in terms of that's kind of my big thing in terms of the challenge and everything. Also, well, the quarters, the quarters to half, no, the halves to quarters, excuse me, the halves to quarters. I don't like that. I think what makes men's college basketball unique is that it's 20-minute halves. And then obviously you have the media timeouts and all that. To me, that's what makes college basketball unique. Men's college basketball, because everybody else has quarters. To me, the 20, then 20, and not the 10, 10, 10, 10. To me, it just makes college basketball unique, and I like it that way. That's just me personally. I know everybody else has gone to quarters and stuff, which is fine, but just to me, liked it. I liked it because there's a certain uniqueness about the sport. You want every sport to have a certain uniqueness about itself, so that's recognizable. That is one of the unique things about college basketball is that we don't do quarters, we do halves. 20 minutes and then 20 minutes. And then okay, after that, if it's still tied, we obviously do the 5 minutes and like that. But I just think for me, I just prefer it. I just prefer it. I know we're probably gonna be going to quarters, but it is what it is at this point. For that, don't again, don't mind it. Now, let's go here to Shamar Stewart's contract holdout. Shamar Stewart calls out Bengals front office amid contract standoff on 100% right. Keep in mind the Bengals owner Mike Brown is cheap. Shamar Stewart has not played a game yet, and this quote is actually alarming. It says, "Y'all just want to win arguments more than winning more games." Cincinnati Bengals rookie Shamar Stewart vented his frustration with the team as negotiations over his contract continue to drag on. Stewart told reporters he's 100% right in terms of his demands, adding he isn't requesting for the Bengals to set new precedent with his deal. The first round pick asserted the hang up is something very simple to fix. I'm going to show y'all the video of him talking to reporters because this whole thing, this has been going on for multiple months, and we know the Bengals are cheap, so show the video. So that was really telling from Shamar Stewart. That that was really telling right there in terms of what he said. It's a rookie holdouts aren't totally uncommon. The collective bargaining agreement sets the broad terms of what every draft pick stands to collect. But some of the finer details can require a bit of compromise. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio reported in May that Stewart's representatives, the Bengals, are at odds over a provision that would allow the team to void some of its guaranteed money. Per a source with knowledge of the situation, the Bengals want to include a phrase that causes a default in the current year to trigger a default in all remaining years, Florio wrote. The problem is that the contract signed by last year's first round draft pick Amarius Mims does not include the language that the Bengals are now attempting to insert into Stewart's deals. And Mims was taken one spot lower in 2024 than Stewart was picked in 2025. So I, you know, Bengals, it's always something. Why don't you just pay the man or add the language into the contract of of what it can't be that much, right? It can't be. But we know Mike Brown for being cheap. Now this off season he has spent money, which has shocked me. I thought Higgins was gone. He's paid Higgins, he's paid Chase. You know, I'm shocked. I mean, Mike Brown. I mean, look, in the past he's been cheap. He just has. So, in terms of this doesn't really surprise me. But I thought the Bengals here, even with Burrow now, would just have turned a new corner. Apparently, that's not the case. This holdout has been going on since the draft, since he's been drafted. I mean, my goodness. Like, it gets to it gets to a point. Look, I don't know what the verbiage is. Look, I don't know what his agent is telling him. Look, Mike Brown, he's always been cheap. Uh, and that's why the Bengals necessarily has not been good. Let's be real. Uh, the Bengals, Mike Brown has been cheap. He just has. I mean, we know this. The Bengals fans know this. And now, again, it's at the forefront. And it's just why, man. It seems like, from what it sounds like, it seems like something so little, unless I'm not getting the full story here, but I don't know what Mike Brown and the Bengals are doing here, man. I have no clue. But let's get to another holdout that I believe will be resolved. TJ Watt contract. Despite pass rushers holdout in age, Steelers will ultimately do right by franchise icon. I hope they do. If Mike Tomlin is acting like someone who has already seen this movie before, it's because he asked the Pittsburgh Steelers coach recently downplay questions regarding TJ Watt's holdout, the team's second biggest storyline to Aaron Rodgers making his Steelers debut. No, Tomlin said when asked if he had anything specific to say regarding Watt's holdout. Certainly, we like him to be here, but certainly not surprised by where we are. We've expressed a desire to get the business done. He has as well. And so we'll continue to be here. We've been here before. The outcome this time will likely mimic what transpired the first time around. 4 years ago, Watt staged a summer-long hold-in before finally coming to terms on a 4-year, $112 million extension that at that time made him the NFL's highest paid defensive player. Was a new deal in hand. Watt then went out and had his best season to date and was named the league's defensive player of the year. The contract has since been surpassed by several other pass rushers, most notably Myles Garrett, whose recent 4-year, $180 million extension made him the NFL's new highest paid defensive player. Watt is currently the seventh highest paid pass rusher in terms of average annual salary. By all accounts, Watt and the Steelers are expected to come to terms on an extension before the start of the 2025 regular season. And while there are several reasons why they shouldn't do it, he'll turn 31 during the season and is coming off one of his least productive seasons. The Steelers will be doing the right thing when they decide to do right by Watt. Look, I understand. In terms of highest paid pass rushers, look, Brian Burns, Joshua Hines, Allen is up there in terms of him and everything. And then after that, I believe it's like Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, whatever. Look, they're going to pay TJ Watt. I'm not too worried about this. TJ Watt has been incredible. Look, I know last year wasn't his greatest season, one of his least productive seasons, but TJ Watt has done a lot for the franchise. TJ Watt has been incredible in his time here, one of the best pass rushers. You can make a case he's still the best, if not one of the best edge rushers in the league, and how he impacts a game. I mean, he can take over a game. He can win. I've watched games where he's won game for the Steelers just by himself, just off of his dominance and impact. So again, I look here. I really don't see. I think they're going to get the deal done, and when the deal gets done, everybody's going to go hooray! He's going to come back, and this will all be put behind us in terms of Steelers. Shamar Stewart, don't know what's going on there, but I believe the Steelers, they are competent. They are a really good front office. They'll get it done. All right. This has been the latest episode of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. Please lock. Don't lock. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out some of my YouTube shorts that's up on the channel. Until next time, see ya.